No.
Like what's going on? Did you see what's going on? I mean, obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes.
What I saw, what it looked to me like he was negotiating with a deaf prostitute.
Just when you thought political chaos had peaked, the room shifted and everything detonated. Joe Rogan and Tyrus didn't just question Gavin Newsom, they cornered him. What started as a routine moment turned electric in seconds. The pauses grew heavier, the jabs got sharper, and under those brutal lights, Newsom suddenly looked less like the man in control and more like a man calculating his next move. Did he hold the line, or did the crack start to show live on camera? Don't look away, because what happens next doesn't just get uncomfortable, it changes the entire conversation.
Things that California's passed where you're not allowed to show ID when you vote.
I was just on the line because the DOJ is being sent out to California to monitor our election. They have no business, no jurisdiction to monitor it.
You're essentially saying you're encouraged.
This is what we saw this in New York when he put, what's his name, that Blasio, the guy you really hate?
Yeah, Bill de Blasio.
He put his wife in charge of the homeless, and there's $50 million still missing?
Yeah.
So this is another one of the left's money schemes where the guy who's in charge is saying, we need help, we need to figure out a way to do this. So they're going to make a committee. They already have bubonic plague in California. I remember Dr. Drew was going, there's bubonic plague.
Before we go any further, hit like and subscribe, because what you're about to see isn't just another political clip. It's a turning point. Gavin Newsom walked into that room expecting control. Another polished exchange. A few predictable questions, a smooth exit. Just another day navigating California's political storm. But Joe Rogan and Tyrus weren't there to play along. The second the cameras lit up, the air shifted. You could feel it. Heavy, charged, almost suffocating. That practice smile on Newsom's face. It didn't disappear all at once. It slowly tightened, then started to crack.
So, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do, we got some ideas, we speculate, we're going to have some meetings. Like, he's
really?
Oh, show it to him, Jamie. It's so creepy because it's happening while these people are... Their houses have been burned, all their childhood memorabilia, all the stuff for their kids, the photos, the fucking everything they have. Everything they have is gone. All heirlooms, their mother's wedding ring, that kind of shit. Everything's burnt to the ground.
It began the way these things always do. Polished, predictable, safe. The kind of exchange politicians rehearse in their sleep. Carefully framed answers. A highlight reel of accomplishments. Grand promises about the future. A few uplifting lies about the economy, the environment, the progress. Everyone's supposed to applaud. Routine, controlled, scripted. And then Joe Rogan leaned forward. His tone stayed casual, almost friendly, but there was weight behind it. A question wrapped in curiosity, edged with pressure. The kind that doesn't just invite an answer, it demands one. In that instant, the temperature in the room changed. Newsom's rhythm faltered. The safety net vanished. And just like that, the comfort he walked in with began to dissolve fast.
I saw, what it looked to me like he was negotiating with a deaf prostitute. And watch the tape.
Yes!
He literally goes, I want some of this, then you do some of this, and I'll do some of that back to you, and then we'll do this, and then I'll pay you, and then we'll do it again.
True.
And then she kept saying, no. Then we do this one. Then we give a little back and forth.
Tyrus stood there in silence at first, calm, towering, unreadable. He didn't need to speak. His presence alone shifted the balance. The kind of presence that makes even the most confident person second guesses their footing. And then he finally stepped in. When he spoke, it wasn't loud. It was precise, direct. Each question landed heavy. No fluff, no escaperuts. It didn't feel like a debate anymore. It felt like detonation. The calm shattered. The rhythm broke. And suddenly, what was supposed to be a controlled conversation turned into something far more dangerous.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. He's still governor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he could do something about it. That's the most irritating thing, is like, why did anyone say with a follow-up where he's like, the homeless situation is ridiculous? A follow-up question, aren't you governor?
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference. That's the difference between the radical left and President Trump. He'll talk about something as it's being taken.
Then came the moment that changed the temperature in the room. It started, innocently enough, a question about California's spending. A wide, comfortable topic. The kind politicians stretch into polished monologues that sound impressive and say very little. Normally, that's safe territory. But Rogan and Tyrus weren't playing by those rules. The air stalled. A pause lingered too long. Heavy, intentional, the kind of silence that makes your chest tighten because you can feel the next move forming. Rogan tilted his head, studying him. Tyrus crossed his arms, saying nothing and somehow saying everything. And right there on camera, you could see Noam's composure flicker. It was subtle, but it was real. The shift from confident executive to a man recalculating in real time. The next question didn't feel polished or polite. It was sharp, personal, almost absurd, but devastatingly effective. It didn't attack policy. It pierced the armor. Suddenly, this wasn't about budgets or bullet points. It was about him. And for a split second, the rehearsed cadence vanished. No sweeping gestures, no elegant pivots, just a flash of something raw beneath the surface. Vulnerability wrapped in tension, so thick it felt combustible.
This guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plans.
Watch this. Play this. Give me.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying, we're move forward.
He reached for his oldest weapon first, charm. That polished camera-ready smile designed to steady the room and glide past the friction. The move that saved 1,000 tough interviews. But this time it didn't land. Rogan didn't flinch. Tyrus didn't blink. Tyrus didn't blink. The smile hit them and slid off like water on glass. And the questions didn't slow down. Some were subtle. Others came in blunt and unapologetic, sharp enough to make the room tighten. The more new Noam tried to pivot, the harsher the spotlight burned. Catching contradictions, half answers, and those split-second hesitations campaigns never let die. That's when the pressure truly set in. Rogan leaned forward again, voiced calm, almost amused, but edged with precision like someone who already knows the answer and is just waiting for you to say it wrong. Tyrus stayed silent, steady in him, patient, calculating, waiting for the smallest crack. And then it happened. A moment that didn't feel explosive at first. Newsom launched into an explanation. Housing initiatives, tech innovation, the familiar California buzzwords rolled out like a script. It sounded polished. It sounded safe until it didn't.
And then eventually the camera guy realizing that he's signaling him, so he gets appalled, leans back, camera comes down, and then we're back to this. I'll do this for you, you do this for me a little. So he's saying whatever he's going to say. There it is, see? They couldn't hold him back. He's like, I'm not on film. Oh, I'm not, nope. Bring my hands up, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. He's playing with us. Meet me at my house, you get mine, I get yours, it'll work out.
What turned this into something legendary wasn't just the missteps or the heavy silences. It was the collision of worlds. On one side stood a governor engineered for moments like this. Media trained, hyper-aware, always 3 steps ahead. On the other side, 2 men speaking like they were just killing time over coffee. Except every casual remark carried impact. Every sentence detonated softly. Each question became a stress test. Each pause a spotlight. It was authenticity clashing with calculation. Instinct versus rehearsal. Real conversation versus polished spin. And the irony kept building. Newsom walked in convinced he owned the atmosphere. Calm posture, measured tone, controlled rhythm. But control is fragile, and you could see it thinning. A slight shift in stance. A tighter smile, eyes flickering, recalibrating. He knew he wasn't steering anymore. He was reacting. Then the topic shifted. Accountability. Not the campaign-friendly version wrapped in optimism. The personal kind, the uncomfortable kind, the kind that asks why decisions were made, not how they were packaged. The kind that doesn't settle for vision statements, but demands ownership. That's where the hesitation crept in. A pause too long. A sentence that restarted midway. A quick attempt to pivot the narrative into safer territory. But Rogan and Tyrus weren't chasing polished stories. They were pressing for something simpler. Clarity, consistency, and maybe a glimpse of the person beneath the political armor.
All Trump should do is when he leaves the office, run for governor of California. And just take over California and fix it. It would be hilarious if he did. It would be one of the funniest things of all time if an 82-year-old man steps into the office of governor of California. We're going to fix everything. You've got a problem with water. I know how to get the water.
And just when it felt like the tension might ease, it detonated again. The follow-up questions hit like a shot of adrenaline. Sharp, focused, impossible to dodge. Rogan leaned forward, calm as ever, but every word carried weight. Not loud, not dramatic, just precise. Iris didn't even need to add much. A quiet nod, a knowing half smile. That was enough. The message was clear. There's nowhere left to hide. Newsom tried to steady himself, tried to regain rhythm, but the cracks weren't subtle anymore. They were visible. The polished lines, the rehearsed pivots, the practiced confidence, all of it began to fracture under relentless curiosity. This wasn't theater anymore. It was a man under the brightest spotlight imaginable, wrestling with questions that refused to soften. And here's the twist. The harder he fought to regain control, the faster it slipped away. Every pivot pulled him deeper. Every answer unlocked another door. Rogan and Tyrus didn't need to overpower him. They just stayed steady, circling with patience like they already understood how this would end. It felt less like an interview and more like a chess match with FO ruled clarity over spin. Honesty over polish, and never underestimate the people watching. By the final moments, every pause carried weight. Every word felt consequential. And whether you agreed with him or not, one thing was undeniable. This wasn't just another political exchange. It was a reckoning. If you felt that shift, if you saw those cracks form in real time, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. Did he hold the line, or did the pressure expose something deeper? Because moments like this, they don't just trend, they change narratives.